Cool. Okay, so walk me through where we're at, and then I'll see if I can offer some insight.
Okay. Probably within the last 2 weeks, I've been looking into wholesaling, trying to get my feet under me to understand market, what makes a good deal, how to the process of approaching people the right way, and where I can fit into it. I've got an 8 to 5 job. I work from home currently, so I wake up 3 hours before, go to the gym, get all that stuff done. So as soon
Good
as
for you.
I'm free. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
5 to about 10, I don't have anything
I
so I'm really looking to maximize that time. And I wanted to get into real estate, but I don't have the investment money right now. And everything that I've been able to see, this is a way to understand the business, understand people, understand the processes without that much upfront cost. A couple $100 a month can really, if you put it in the right places. So I'm basically looking for somebody to get under, join a system with, help for the knowledge and experience, and to learn the interpersonal people skills. I worked construction for 10 years, so I know how to work. I just don't.
Yeah, my friend is in beauty school, so I go to her.
All right, cool. So you're up at 5, you hit the gym, you get to work, but you get to work from home.
Yes.
Okay, so you get to work from home, and then you're off the clock by about 5.
Yes.
Okay. And what time zone are you in?
Eastern. I'm in Ohio.
Okay, cool. All right, so if you're in Ohio, 5 o'clock your time is 2 o'clock West Coast. Okay. So that's actually a little bit of a hidden advantage that you might have, because what that means is that you could theoretically start working the West Coast at 5 o'clock and keep working up until about, just like you said, 10 p.m. and it would still be 7 p.m. out on the West Coast. Okay. So that's great. That's actually great for you because it'll work according to your schedule. Now, if you start at 5 your time, though, I probably wouldn't focus on West Coast up until about 7 o'clock your time, maybe 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock your time is when I would start to shift and start focusing on like Midwest and then West Coast. And the beauty about what we do and what we're going to teach you is that you can do it all virtually anyway. Okay. So this way it won't interfere with your work schedule. So let's say you do your work, you want to get started, and then at 5 o'clock, you might work till, I don't know, you might want to get something to eat or take a break. I'm trying to be a realist here. Yep. So you could potentially have your dinner and then hop on the phones and then start learning how to do this and doing some prospecting. Okay. So in theory, what I would do if I was you is I get off the clock, get something to eat by no later than 5:30, 5:45. I'm then on the phone focusing on my local market. Now, in Ohio, it's going to snow, right? So it tends to slow down a little bit. I think the whole real estate business tends to slow down during the fourth quarter because of the holidays, but it especially slows down in the winter months over in the East Coast and in your states where you have snow. So that being said, what's the weather like right now where you're at?
I want to say it was 42 in the morning, around 65 to 70 in the afternoon, maybe a little bit lower than that. Check it.
When does the snow really kick in?
I would say we don't get clear. It's all the way up until late December. We'd be lucky to have a snowy winter, but from January 5th after New Year's all the way until around the end of February, March is when we really, we'll have snow days. There'll be a couple inches on the ground.
Okay.
So up until then, it's just cold, free conditions, and water on the ground and sleep.
Okay. And you're in what city?
Bridgeport, Ohio, what's
the population there?
Oh, I would say 5,000, 6,000. It's a town or a village.
Okay, it's a town. Cool.
The closest to me is Wheeling, West Virginia, and it's larger. It's probably 70,000 people. And I mean, it's right 5 miles, 10 miles across the river.
Okay. What's the biggest city that's got about 100,000 to 100,000 plus?
Canton, Ohio, Cincinnati, and Columbus.
Okay. Cool. Okay. How far are those?
Within 4 hours all.
Okay. Hey, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because you can do it virtual anyway. But so here's what we'll do, because in your personal market, your hometown market, it's going to be a little tight. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the investors are going to be going into the markets that typically have, populations of like 100,000 or more. Okay. It just makes it easier for them to resell any of these properties. So those are the markets that we really want to focus on. So, Eric, in Ohio, what was the city? Was it Cincinnati or it was Cleveland? So Cleveland is obviously a big city.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, those kind of cities. If we're going to target your home state, I would say what we're going to do is we're going to target those up until the end of the year, until you hit snow season. And then after that, you can start targeting some of the South. I would say immediately when you start to see the winter start to kick in, head down south and you're going to move to Florida. Okay. Because Florida's sunny and you've got all those snowbirds that are going to be heading down there, and you got all these people that are buying and selling real estate, when there's snow up on the east seaboard. So, okay, you're off at 5, you have something to eat. 5:30, you hop on the phones, and the first thing I want you to do is start attacking on-market properties. Okay. So on-market properties are the properties that are already listed, and where you're going to find these is on Zillow. Okay. Now there are tools that you'll see a lot of the coaches talk about, like Privy and Batch and PropStream, and those are great tools. But at the end of the day, Zillow's free, and it's probably the best real estate website out there. Okay. End of story. It's better than anything that the realtors have, anything that I'm a real estate broker by trade, right? I've been since I was 18. So our websites, the stuff they give us, suck compared to Zillow. All right. And that's the reason they've been able to like knock even our board of realtors and all our associations out of the game. It's because their website is so good, and they've slowly gotten better and better at it. So anyway, I'm going to share with you a tool that we use, and I'm going to give you access to it. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see if my screen is showing up. Yeah. And you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give this to you. And this is a spreadsheet that has every search term that is applicable to what we do, right? So we're looking for ugly houses. We're looking for houses that have liens. We're looking for houses that have pain points. We're looking for people that need to get out of their house, that are motivated. And so these key phrases like bank, bankruptcy, cash, confirmation, fixer, foreclosure, handyman, investor, probate. What we've done is we've created predetermined searches for all 50 states, so that all you got to do, like, watch, let's just go into Ohio real quick. Let's look for cash. Okay. You just come here, copy the link, then paste it. And boom, you've got 223 listings. 223 that they're suggesting are all cash offers. So if you click on this one, just as an example, let's see what the description says. Investor's dream, cash offers only. Okay. So that's just one example. So the hard work is already done for you. I'm not sure why they're not showing up. Oh, there we go. In red. All the hard work is done for you in terms of saving you time from having to do these searches. The searches are already here for you. So going back to what I was saying earlier, if I was you, I'd say, okay, I'm going to focus on my home state for a little bit, just because it's still my backyard. I know it pretty well, even if it is a little bit of a ways from you. And then you also focus a little bit on, like I said, you should be focusing on Florida. And then as the day progresses and it gets a little bit later, by 8 o'clock your time, then I'd suggest that we shift on over to like the states, the Midwest, like Texas is a good one. Then you shift to Oklahoma City. That's another good market. And then you could work your way into like Las Vegas, Arizona, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So I see you personally having about 4 different virtual markets that you work in. And as the day progresses, you slowly migrate into like the West Coast. So that way you maximize the time that you're able to work. Right.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at this now. I'm going to teach you how to use this tool. So there's the spreadsheet, right? You've got 223 listings that are suggesting that it's all cash, okay? But I want you to focus on the ones that are in the big cities. Don't focus on like some of these that are down here near Wayne National Forest. That's not going to do you any good to get that stuff under contract because you're going to have a difficult time to go back and resell it to a wholesaler anyway. So what you want to do is, number one, sort it by the newest homes. Okay, so you're looking for the newest ones, and don't go after those. You want to go for the ones that have been on the market the longest. Okay, the ones that have just gone on the market, if they just went on the market, they haven't been beat up yet, so they're not, they're fresh, they're excited, they haven't been sitting enough to warrant any type of a discount on their property. Okay, so let's go check out. Columbus is a big city and Dayton is a big city, right?
Yes.
So let's check out Columbus. All right. Right now, this is what I would be targeting. So I would come here, and then you can actually click something called remove boundary. And then you can draw where you want. And I just want it for just now. I just want all the ones around here.
Okay.
All right. Then I click apply, and boom. Now I've got all the ones, in a market that I think I can resell. These are all the newest listings. Like I said, scroll down and go to the oldest ones, and we start from right here. That's 364 days. Seems a little weird that it hasn't sold in that long. I'm not sure if that's even real, but let's just look at this as an example. Okay, so I found a property. Now, what most people want to do is they want to look at this, and then they want to analyze it, and then they want to say, well, is this a deal? Is this something that I could play with? All right. And then they spend time calculating, looking for comps, researching, doing all this work. And don't get me wrong, the work might not be that much. It might only be like 5, 10, 15 minutes worth of work. But when you're doing that for 10, 15, 20 properties at a time, before you know it, you've lost 2 to 3 hours of your day and you've made no money. Okay. So I don't want you to do that. The first thing I want you to do is, number one, find the property, look at it, and then call the agent. Get a hold of the agent right away. All right. So in this case, the agent is Beverly, and her telephone number is there. Now, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Okay. In this case, it happens to be there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give her a call. Now, I use an online dialer. I use something called Dialpad. Okay. That's what I like to use. You're going to need some type of an online dialer. Some people like to use Google Voice because it's free. And if you can get a Google Voice number, feel free to use the Google Voice number. There's nothing wrong with that. I will say that you have to be careful, though, because if you send too many outbound text messages or too many outbound calls, Google sometimes does freeze your account because they've done it to me. That's why now I actually pay for a service. So that way I don't have to worry about that happening. Okay.
And you said that was Dialpad that you use and pay for?
Yeah, it's like $30 a month per user. So it's it's a cloud-based dialer. You can call and text with it. I love it.
Okay.
All right. So all I do is I come here, I copy her telephone number, paste it in there, and boom. Now let's see if she answers. Tell me if you hear the ringing. I'm hoping that it's going to record and hear everything all at once. You hear that? Or no? No. Just one sec. Let's see if it. You hear that?
No.
You don't hear the voicemail? Okay.
264 is not available.
All right.
At the tone, please record your message.
Okay, so look what's funny is that I've actually communicated with Beverly. Right? This is why I love Dialpad.
Yeah.
Because now I can actually see what I've talked to her about before. So sometime back on February, I reached out to her. And I'm not sure if I was talking to her. I was talking to her about this property in Columbus, 3776. It's the same property. All right. So I reached out to her and I sent her a message in February. Is it still available? It's available. How flexible? Tenant is dragging her feet. Big issue. Basement needs work. You can reduce the price based on an estimate. Would you be willing to represent me? Too low. I presented it to seller, so it's still for sale. Okay, so it's still available.
Okay.
So now what I would do is I would say, hi, Beverly. Normally my messages are this. It's very simple. Boom.
Yeah.
Is it available? Interested party. That's it. I don't ask anything about like, would you accept an offer? What most people do is they'll look at this and then they'll say, hey, I'm going to make her an offer for 80,000 or 90,000 and see if she bites. Now, if you do that, all that's going to happen is you're going to get a response like what she said to me. Look, would you be willing to represent me and offer an 87 cash? Too low. Now, mind you, this was in February. It was a different market, right? Now they're probably going to be a little bit more open to it, but I don't suggest just spitting out a price. What I want to do is talk to her. So the minute she starts responding, I would have picked up the phone and I would have called her and I would have said, Beverly, my name's Paul. I'm interested in this property on Emmons Avenue. I'm an investor. I don't know what I'm going to do with this property. I don't know if I'm going to fix it and flip it. I don't know if I'm going to buy it and keep it as a rental. I don't know if I'm going to use it as an Airbnb, but I'm interested in it. Is it available? Number one. And she'll say, yeah, it's available. No, it's not. Number two, do you have any offers on it? Okay, I want you to ask these questions. No, I don't have any offers on it. Okay, no problem. Have you had any offers on it? And then look, she freely told me that she's had offers. Too low. I presented it to seller. Oh, so she even she's telling me that she presented my offer of 87 to the seller, I think. So they want 175. All right. So they're telling me the number. Okay. So I want to ask her do you have any offers? Have you had any offers? Why didn't the seller accept those offers? Okay. And then I'm going to ask, if they don't sell, what are they going to do next? And wait and see what she says. And then if they do sell, are they going to stay in Columbus or where are they going to move to? So I'm asking all these questions because I'm trying to extract information from her. Okay. This isn't like, hey, I'm going to make you an offer and then you shotgun and see what happens. This is me dissecting it. Okay. So you have to actually start asking questions. Now, sometimes agents are going to be like, well, why do you need this information? What's it to you? Like, you're going to get a few of those. Okay. And you just have to be prepared. You just got to be like, well, listen, I'm interested in purchasing it. I'm just trying to figure out how flexible the seller is so that I can make an offer that would make sense to both parties. And that's probably the best answer that you could give. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to shoot her a message. Hi, Beverly.
I know it's been on the market for about 20 days.
I see that Emmons Avenue is still available for sale. Is the property vacant now? Any flexibility in the seller price? And you're watching me do this in real time now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So next one. Boom. Then I would go to the next one. 375,000. This looks like a bunker. Huh. Crazy. Okay. Interesting. So same thing. I would research it. I'd call David and I'd do the same thing with him. Right? Now, here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to make an offer, excuse me, right on the phone right away. Irrespective of what he says, if he says yes, no, he says, you need to give me an offer of 325. Sorry, too much talking and not enough oxygen to the brain.
Definitely understand that.
If he says that, all I want you to say is, no problem. Don't fight with agents about the price, not on the first call. It's not going to get you anywhere. All it's going to do is piss them off, okay? So if an agent tells me, nope, the seller won't take anything less than 300,000 or 310, whatever they say, or your offer is too low. Well, they shouldn't say that because I'm not going to give them the offer on the first call. But if they say they've received offers that are way too low, and then I ask them, well, what were those offers? Would you mind sharing them with me? If they do share them with me, and then they tell me, they won't look at anything less than 340, 330. I don't fight with them. I just say, no problem. Let me see if I can get to that price. Let me crunch some of my numbers, and then I'll get back to you. And then after that, you go back and you do your research. And don't start doing research and comping and all that stuff until you've actually found an agent that is even willing to play ball with you on the deal.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to save you a lot of time. A
Yeah,
lot of time. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a second.
Okay.
So anyway, so that's the first step. The very first step is you learning how to use that tool. Okay. And then, like I said, starting East Coast, Midwest. No, so it's East Coast, Midwest, and then West Coast states. And you get good at starting to do these agent outreaches. So what I tell everybody is that if you're going to be working for just a couple of hours a day, there's no reason you can't do like 7 agent outreaches a day. If you're doing 4 hours a day, there's no reason you can't do 14 to 15 a day. If you're doing 6 hours a day, you should be able to do at least 21 to 25 a day. All right. And then once you do that, you'll eventually have agents that will say, all right, let's submit the offer. Let's see what the seller says. Or they'll be able to get you an offer submitted at the price that we need to get it at.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we come in and we comp it together and we look at the deal and we underwrite it and all that stuff.
Okay.
All right. Now, comping and underwriting is another training that I can do with you a little bit later on. But I just wanted you to understand like the psychology behind what we do, so that you get a good feel for it.
Yes, the why is always important for me. I like to understand the process, because if I don't have something to fall back on, then I just keep falling.
Cool, good for you. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to stop recording this, and then I'll save.